And brack at it like crack at it. What up, Str8 gang? How y'all doing today? So it just occurred to me that I have yet to show you guys the new shop. So today we're gonna do a little shop tour. For those of you who don't know, maybe you don't follow me on Instagram or you're new to the channel, we went through a bit of a tragedy here at Straight to the Point Cutlery. The week of Blade this year, I lost all my equipment and my entire shop to a fire. But it's okay, because now we got a new shop. Everything's rebuilt, and we're a little bit better than we were before. So let's check it out, shall we? Alright, so let's start off at the foraging section. Here we've got my anvil. This is an, shout out to Jason Knight. He sent me this anvil after he heard what had happened. And you know, forge. I built this forge myself when I couldn't find anything that fit my budget for that also fit what I needed to do. This forge is 18 inches wide. It has a 4-inch opening and another 4-inch tall. Insulated it with 2 fire bricks and Mizzou. I'm really liking Mizzou now. With forges, when you forge weld a lot, which I don't, but I might in the future, it eats away at whatever you use to line your forge with. So like just using the wool by itself is not always ideal because you got to replace it so often. But I've pulled chunks of Mizzou off, chunks of flux off this Mizzou, and it's not been hurt at all. So I'm really enjoying that. But yeah, so that's the forge. Let's take a look inside, shall we? Y'all come on in. Alright, so first room you walk into in my shop, this is a small one-man shop. First room you walk into when you're coming from forging is the grinding section. This room I designed to be, you know, a little bit smaller, but to have fireproof sheetrock all around it. The reason I did this is because any grinding, any welding that's not done outside, any cutting, anything that throws any kind of sparks will take place in this room. Also, it'll keep all the dust in here, so I don't have to clean dust off all over my shop. Last shop I had was probably about, you know, the size of my other room, and I had a problem with keeping dust off things that I didn't want dust on. So that's why we had this shop split up. So the heart of this room is my 2x72 grinder. This is a Tag 101 from Chris Williams. He makes some phenomenal grinders, Wilmot grinders. Everyone should go check them out. Yeah, so this is my new baby. It's variable speed. Yeah, so I love this grinder. Check it out, you know. Turn it on and speed as need be. And my favorite part, before I was working on this, I was working on a 1x30 and a Grizzly 2x72 knife sander, which, as most of you guys know, if you guys are knife makers, they're not very ideal, you feel me? So yeah, so this is my new grinder. Come on in. Alright,
record has been cleared.
Alright, so yeah, so this is my old anvil. After the fire, it wasn't rebounding the same, and I started to notice some very, very deep cracks and divots. And this anvil was given to me by my grandfather, who's no longer with us anymore. So it's special to me. I don't want to damage it because it's kind of how I keep him here with me to see what I'm keeping up with. So like I said, everything in this room will will have some sort of sparks. This is my welding table. I weld and solder on this table. I've been, I've had a couple welding jobs in here, so excuse a little bit of mess, but I keep my torches here. I do a fair amount of soldering for burner parts, so I got solder and flux and stuff like that. Oh yeah, so this is my detail room. This is a room I designed for storage and anything I do to make my knives pretty, whatever I'm working on. It's where I put like final touches and detail work in. So we'll start right here. This is the hand sanding table you heard. This is the hand sanding table you saw me make on Maker's Monday. I wanted a metal table because the extra mass and the extra rigidity kind of helped it from rocking when I'm hand sanding. I'm a big guy, so when I'm hand sanding on wood tables, a lot of times it caused the table to rock, which caused me to kind of lose some of my ability to hand sand, for lack of a better terms. So yeah, this metal table. I have this window. I like to work with friends, as y'all see. I also plan to have a couple people in here that I want to teach now and then. And my grinding room is a little small, so I kind of can't stand and watch over their shoulder like a parrot. But now that I have this window right here, I can just peep through and see what's going on if I had a student in here or something like that. So let's look at our welder.
So
what we're about to do.
You about to what?
Well, I'm about to say we're about to change it, use another one. So.
Okay.
Okay.
The original.
So yeah, this is the original straight to the point cutlery sign. Got that made the first year I did blade.
Which was this year?
Which was this year. Love this sign. I love my logo, but I've decided to add red in with the company colors, so we're gonna change up and get a new sign. But I like to keep that hanging up in here as a memento of my first time at Blade. That kind of reminds me what I can accomplish. Okay. Pull up. Chicago Electric stick and TIG welder, 160 volt. This lives outside of the room. One second, I didn't know that was gonna be that loud. So yeah, this lives outside of the room. A little tip from a welder. Grinding desks can kind of mess up your welders, and it's got some computers and stuff on the inside of it. So if you're gonna be grinding and you're worried about your welder functioning well, you should keep it in a spot where there's not gonna be a lot of dust. So this has a long enough lead where I can run it with it outside of the room. So I don't keep it in the grinding room. I just carry my leads over to inside the grinding room to weld. But yeah, it runs stick and it runs TIG. It runs stick pretty good. I've yet to get an argon bottle, so y'all stay tuned for the welder update for me to tell you guys how this runs TIG. But yeah, so I don't do a whole lot of welding in this shop. Basically just tacking the Damascus billets together, building things for my own use. So yeah, this grinder, this welder, for what it does, for what I need to do, is perfect. So let's walk over to our storage shelf, shall we? Alright, so this is my storage shelf. When I designed a new shop, I designed it with knife making, gunsmithing, and gun repairs, and film in mind. Along with whatever else I decide to make out of this shop, I tend to switch up a fair amount. So I keep all my tools on this. All my gunsmithing tools. Don't know where I put the rest of them. I'm still kind of getting adjusted to this. On the top shelf, here's my rivets and rivet setters for holsters and cheese and stuff like that. You know, got some window clean. I keep all my handle material up here, stuff like that. I'm gonna reorganize everything a little bit later. Paperwork, all my files. Tell how messy I work. All my files on the second shelf. Wet and dry sandpaper. I like to do graffiti art here and there, so I keep spray paint here. That's, like I said, I sprayed this. The rest of it looked just like a regular shelf from Home Depot. All the stuff I use for laying things out and marking things, you know, this is my height gauge, things like that. Got all my hammers that I have right now on the bottom shelves. I'm gonna build a rack for those later. A couple grinders. And yeah, so that's my shelf. So yeah, so that's you know, that's just what I've been keeping everything on. Oh, another knife making tool, which I'm about to put into function right now. It's a respirator. Instead of getting the ones with that you can change out the filters, I just like to get the ones from Harbor Freight. They cost about the same as the filters do, so I mean, I don't really see the difference. But you don't want to keep these outside of your shop. If you have one of these and you make knives on a regular basis, you make yourself a hook and hang it in like as close to your grinder as you possibly can. The reason you should do that is because we don't use things when they're out of sight. Out of sight is out of mind. So if you put it right next to your grinder, you'll always see it, and then that light will click on. Oh, I need to put my respirator on. Save your lungs, guys. You only get two.
Go.
Alright, so this is my drill press. Drill! This is a lot bigger than what I'm used to, but I'm really liking it. This is a clutch. I basically just did some internet research, and everybody was posting some really good reviews about what, you know, good drill press this was. Comes with a light, so I can really see what I'm doing. It's variable speed, so when I started, it has a little switch over here, so I can speed it up and slow it down as I want to. So I tend to drill everything from hardened steel to wood to aluminum to, you know, I switch around a lot. So it's real handy to have that different speed, variable speed. But yeah, so that's, got two vices. I like to get another one for engraving later, but I've got this one just for hand sanding. Another tip, when you're hand sanding, if you're just hand sanding on just the blade, the blade a lot of times isn't strong enough to like support all your weight leaning down on it. So you can lose a lot of your effectiveness in hand sanding. So I have a wonderful mom that's a woodworker, so there's scraps of wood all over the place. It doesn't have to be expensive, cheap 2x4 work. Just use this, and then now I don't have to worry about the blade flexing as I'm hand sanding it. But like I said, I have 2 vices. I really want to talk about this other one because it really deserves a shout out. This is a knife maker's vice from Pop's Knife Supply. I want to give a big shout out to Pops. Owner is a friend. I took a visit up there, and when they heard that my shop had a fire, the guys got together and they donated this to the cause. So shout out to Pop's Knife Supply, y'all.
I'm gonna be a camera person one day. Come in on me.
Why are you so close to me?
With him. Stay right.
So yeah, shout out to Pops. You guys are honorary Str8 gang now.
Go.
Alright guys, and last but not least, we have our abrasive storage. I keep sanding belts, grinding wheels, cutting discs. I also throw my tongs up here. Down below I keep my propane tanks. So and then in the near future I'm probably gonna build a metal rack for blade steel over here. But yeah, I'm trying to take a very much more organized approach to how I do things here. Last time was a little bit haphazardly, so we're trying to learn from our mistakes and do a little bit better, and get things a little bit cleaner. And that's a wrap, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Tell all your friends, your mama, your lizard, your dog, all of them. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Str8 Cutlery. That's STR8, the number 2, THAPOINT_cutlery. Alright? So you guys go check that out. If you do, screenshot you following me and DM it to me, and I'll be sure to give you a shout out on Instagram. Y'all have a good one. Straight to the point, gang gang.